And we see paiN Gaming on that T side already rushing down onto ramp.
Yeah, I love it. Let's not delay. Let's get into the action. So we're off to the races already. It's a nice little goosh onto Tess's, sends him packing, and now they're going to be advancing down towards the lower bomb site. Nico cracks open the door and cracks Davidea's skull at the very same time. Demo, though, the young kid, fighting back. 2 Glock kills coming back, and it's a 4 versus 3 all of a sudden. I don't exactly know how he managed to get both of them, but that is really going to tilt it in favor of paiN Gaming here.
Will Dexter could have the drop, though. He knows the player in shadow is Demo, but he's also kind of getting baited out from the player he spotted momentarily in the form of Snow, who's now backed off. They have control over Heaven, and also Bigger Zero on A, absolutely. They have this site locked down, so now it's just about transitioning the bomb across and getting that plant into play.
They had to do a lot of mid-round calls to get into this position, and you could see Falcons, because I think because of the Demo double kill downstairs, they just all rotated down to the B bomb side. They were so panicked that it was about to be a bomb plant, so they just went for it, and then they lost control of the A site, and now they're actually in a fair bit of trouble here. No kit in play. Even if there was one, it would be down. Oh my god, what a shot. He's just deleted Snow. Mid-air, he didn't even touch the ground there. Speaker Zero, now just jiggling back and forth, and NQC comes in to help out. Great teamwork here between the last 2 players of paiN Gaming. They're going to be able to win the pistol round, but that shot from Kicksand was a thing of beauty. I'm glad you brought that up. We should have mentioned that right at the start. This is elimination, and it's just, that puts so much pressure on you, right? It would be unthinkable, and yet at the same time, it'd also be somewhat predictable just based on the history of the team so far in Counter-Strike. So let's see how this one plays out. It is going to be Big Zero going down early.
So they'll be thinking better of that. The aforementioned smoke now starts to fade, and Nico, with the deagle on Nuke, pardon me, there's always the capabilities of him just popping off and taking domes, and that Molotov baits him into a false sense of security. He'll punish Snow.
It looked like it spread on top of him, and maybe right at the end it actually did, but yeah, regardless, a lot of damage. Oh, he bumped into his teammate, and the grenade went the other way around the silo. Now, it's not going to cost him anything this time, but that is potentially a dangerous mistake. A scout strikes down NQC, and it leaves Davideus. Bit of an awkward spot here. They know he's back there somewhere, but it doesn't matter. The Khalil, the straight laser headshot to take down Dexter, and they survive the round, paiN Gaming. And you know what? In spite of that being very close, something that I am happy about is the fact that they made some decisions here. paiN, even the stats aren't going to be lying this time. It's a 3-0 lead here in favor of paiN. Now, obviously, this is going to be the first buy round. Davide is going to be taking down Dexter and Demo through the smoke as well, finding a headshot. I was about to, trying to tell a little story about, it doesn't matter. It's the first buy round coming up now. Falcons have a chance to prove themselves right here, but that chance is looking slimmer right now. Nico's still alive, and that's good news.
Yeah, he is definitely a huge component of this team. Oh, the damage, though, through the smoke and through the wall. It's a position that they would know that he loves to play. He's been punished so far. It's unconfirmed damage for the most part, but there is Tessis, a player that has so much capabilities. Headshots galore, and he's given the advantage to Falcons. Nico's also able to somehow pull out his inner Houdini and escape through the smoke. Double spray down from Mages. He picks up Bigger Zero, and suddenly it's down to the new recruit, Demo.
There was a real chance there that Nico was going to get shot by his teammate in the back. I think he actually did hit him, but this is a huge turnaround in this individual round for Falcons. It's going to be Nico going down, but 35 seconds. Like I said, 17 years old, playing now against someone, a legend like Nico, and you're trying to hold your cool here. It's not going to be easy. Megas waiting for him on the other side, and it will be Demo to go down. Now,
but can they get that all-important consistency? Can they thread these rounds together? Because once again, another buy comes in, and Snow getting aggressive with that MAC-10, waiting for the smokes to plume, and he'll be pushing straight into Secret.
Okay. Didn't even need the HE to break open the smoke out there. Dexter, just straight cheating. It's going to be Snow going down next to Nico. Clean headshots coming through on this one, and you know, it really is just the fundamentals here for Falcons, right? Try and get control of the money on that CT side, build a bit of a buffer. Nice off-angle position, could be kind of hard to clear, and now he's going to go in and, with no Molotovs on the other side, he's very hard to dig out of this corner. Going to be an HE, but that doesn't really accomplish the same thing at all. Flash is going in. Nico does get dropped, but and Tessa's just standing there. No real coordination between Nico and Tessa's. I hate everything about it.
I do from the side of Falcons, but I love everything about it from paiN. It's a great orchestrated HE into Shadow. They then pop flash out, so Nico couldn't really deal any damage on the approach. They divide and conquer and surgically remove the two players into a post plant, and suddenly now they have the player advantage. From a 5v3 to a round-winning position, paiN have snatched this away.
I feel like I'd be fired so quickly if I was playing on this team. I mean, not just because I'm, you know, not anywhere near as good as Counter-Strike as these guys, but also because I wouldn't be able to not make a joke about, you know, losing these rounds. Like, I just would be, I just couldn't, that's the only way I could deal with it, you know? Nice HE to blow this open. Nico's going to go down. There's nobody covering him. Magus is up on the hut, but he was busy looking the other way. And I'm not sure why, because they had a player in heaven as well. So Magus doesn't have to be covering the hut side either. Nico probably going to be a little bit unhappy about that, but great play from Magus right here. It's Big0 to go down. 3 versus 3 once again. And potentially an opportunity for Falcons to rectify what went wrong in the last round. It's Snow with a nice crouch, though. Tessus maybe could have won that fight, but it's going to be traded anywhere elsewhere on the map. So we're into a 2 versus 2.
Snow joined alongside NQZ. 30 seconds left. Going to have to start to pick up the pace, but because the double doors are opened, it's not going to give a sound cue across the Falcons. As far as they're concerned, they have no idea where paiN currently are.
Okay, Molotovs. I almost wish they would have saved at least one of them, but obviously they don't know what we know, so they're hoping that they're going to be able to get the bomb plant behind it. 9 seconds here. Bomb is going to be planted, and Swift running out here from the door. They're just not going to slow this down. Falcons looking for the retake they desperately needed. Down to the 1 versus 1, and with 5 bullets left, down to 3 for Dexter, and it's not enough. NQC will take him down instead, and it's a close round, but it's paiN Gaming coming out on top, and that is going to put a lot of pressure on that Falcons economy. I'm sure they're going to try and do something in this round, but my God, they honestly could have won that whole series. It was definitely doable. So it's not a fluke thing for paiN here. They just are a really strong team, and apparently even with Demo. So, you know, going to be throwing some more praise their way as opposed to just complaining about Falcons, which, even if it is fun, also gets a bit old at some point. Smoke, not quite being blown open, so not really a big benefit there. Incendiary covers not anywhere near enough to stop anyone, but Nico just knows things that we don't. Almost gets a double kill through the smoke. That's fine.
A bit of damage just chipped away from Demo's health bar, who's now been finished off by Nico. Oh, re-peeks him and gets punished for it. This is the cleanest opener to a round that we've really seen from the Falcons. They did lose a 5v3 though, but that was downstairs on B site. Davideus going to try and get that equilibrium, saying now he can get it done on A as well, and Big0 with an exquisite entry that Kixan is holding the line and gives Falcons their second round.
All right.
There we go. Aegis pumping the team up.
You've got to, right?
You know, it does look bleak, right? Like 7-2 is a rough score, but if Falcons can somehow get back to a 7-5, I think the game's back on again, Adams. You know, the momentum changes. 5 rounds is definitely more than enough to get done on Nuke, even if it is a little bit grim and maybe like on the periphery of the possible. But they can still pull this one back. It is still a possibility.
Well, I agree fully, Vince. I think you're right. Oh, it's a good start to this one. Dexter definitely could have had the shot there, but NQC a little bit quicker, and he actually catches Nico as well. What a play from NQC. He's brought them back in. This is another 5-on-3, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but it could be that Falcons are going to be losing this one as well. NQC is absolutely outpositioned Tessus, and he's going to get him for free. What a mind-bending round coming out here from the Brazilian sniper, and now he's going to be up in heaven. Magus is not even at the bomb site right now, and Kixan, well, see if he could do anything. This T-roof position, though, it still could be huge. Going to be catching Big0 off guard, that's for sure. But Davideus is right down there, and he's going to get him for free, leaving just Kixan. He's down below, waiting, yeah, by the ladder. So, I mean, they've almost lost 3 5v3s already, Vince. This could be the second one that they actually do lose. Definitely is, but he's also walking in a position where his shadow is going to be showing, so very, very hard to get this job done. Already scoped up, missed shot. Is he going to be expected a second? He won't be. Davideus point blank takes him down, and it's a 5 versus 3 that swings back in favor of paiN Gaming. It's just that even as you say the words, right, you can feel it, like, there's no, how would you get there, you know? Like, so hard to imagine. Like, I don't have the answer either, obviously. But it is grim to see it play out this way. Snow's gone down at the beginning, so Falcons with a bit of an opening here. I think you correctly said earlier, if it's 7-5, it's still pretty doable. I mean, 8-4, it starts to get on the tough side of it, but there's still something to fight for if you get to that 8-4 scoreline. And right now, Nico's doing fantastic work outside. He's found 4 kills, in fact, with some assisted flashes, so a chance. I mean, that would maybe hype the team up a little bit, with Nico potentially getting an AC or NQC, trying to make sure that doesn't happen, and he will snipe him away. But don't see them losing a 1 versus 5, especially with 30 seconds left here. So, yeah, Nico's done enough this time. He could take a break for the round.
Yeah, I mean, this would be a new low if paiN somehow snatched this one away, right? Like, everything we just said, like, hey, guys, just take no pressure and try and enjoy it. Then you lose a 1v5, and, you know, there's fist holes and tables, and maybe the table's been thrown over, and, you know, it's just a complete disaster. 10 seconds, it's not going to happen regardless. A couple kills go the way of NQZ, pads those stats. He's up to 11 frags, but currently, and also what's kind of sad here is Nico is popping off, and Falcons is still getting kind of steamrolled here. He's top fragging with 12. A Galil on Snow, and some Deagles also in the mix. The downside, though, for paiN is they've ran their utility belt dry. Only 2 flashbangs left. Nico lining up the grenade. That could be a tactical nuke landing on Demo and NQZ, and Nico's going to just go ahead and rip 2 more kills away. He's given his team the advantage. 30 seconds. paiN have outside control, but what can they realistically do with this?
Yeah, it's the time that's left that's really a big issue here. Dexter landing a shot that's really important then. Again, 18 seconds. NQC winning the fight regardless. And you could have made an argument that Dexter could have fallen back. He's going to keep running. NQC, he is a beast right now. A cannon on his hands. And it's going to be 8 seconds trying to see if he can plant that bomb inside of the smoke. Shouldn't be allowed to. Davideus with a headshot. And somehow paiN are right back on top of the round. It's Kixan now suddenly again in a 1 versus 2. How did it come to this? How did the Falcons fumble this round? It should have never been. Nico got the double. They had Dexter down below when he got that opening kill. If he falls back, they win the round every single time. But now instead, it's Kixan trying to clutch it, and NQC snaps it away from them. paiN absolutely destroys Falcons in that round. And then I had this, like, you know, incredible calm down. Like, my face, I was like, oh no, like, it was just, like, how could I mistake that? I think that's what, that was, I must have looked like Nico in that moment, you know? It's like, no, like, I'm actually back to reality, and it's just this, you know? I'm in Denmark, and it's cold, and it's raining, and I'm not a millionaire. Anyway, here we go. Second half is coming up. We've got paiN Gaming now on the CT side, and we're on Nuke for the first match in this elimination series. Now, the map is picked by paiN, and you're getting a good sense of why that is. Dexter's already gone down, but Falcons looking to try and see if they can speed this up and make it going to kick San and Nico. Beautiful entries on that A-bomb side.
Yeah, exactly what Falcons needed and required. A rifle round will be coming up to them in the next one, assuming that they can convert this. Well, they may go for a couple of SMGs, but this round is theirs. Demo, with the USP, try as he may, is outnumbered, outgunned, and outpositioned. And Nico, if he is disappointed, he's not really showing it in terms of his individual performance on the server. If anything, he's channeled it into kind of like this Viking rage, this berserker mode, because he is unrelenting. It's also the rest of his team have got 25 kills combined. Nico's got 17 by himself. Yeah. Oh no, Davideus and a 5-7 from Biggest Era. The woes continue. Nico's going to be in a trade and a one-on-one, but it's now a Galil that's been picked up, and the MP9 of Demo up close is going to send Dexter away, but Magisk and Nico are keeping this round alive, but now it falls upon the star himself.
That is actually a sick HE. Oh, I wish Snow would have tried to run for it. That would have been so insane. He did stay just far enough back, but at least he's found the bomb plant here, Nico. He's already a little bit tagged up, but we know how dangerous he is. With the range there, the MP9, got to be careful now. He's out in the open. He really wants to escape, and that's a smart move. Get out so that you're not going to get shot in the back instead, and try and rotate all around. He can be almost 100% sure there's not going to be a defuse kit in play, and I bet you who knows that. Terrifying thing for Snow and NQC to be up against this guy in a 1 versus 2. Defuse far away, but Snow will find the kill, just challenges him. He was so low on health already. If anything would have touched him, he would have been dead. And instead, they're going to go straight for it. Get the defuse as well. They steal the round back. Suddenly, it just springs back, and Falcons are just like super sick. Like I am secretly hoping that happens, because if it doesn't happen, it's such a sad story, you know. Like, I'm an optimist. I do want the turnaround moment for them, you know. I'm really not a hate watcher in that sense, but for the minute, all we can do is kind of laugh at the fact that they keep losing 5 versus 3s to paiN Gaming with a stand-in in an elimination game. You know, it's too much.
You see he's going to get charged down, but there is a bit of backup there in the form of Bigazera. HE Molotov tossed in as well for good measure. Dexter, though, has got his hands on the AWP and does connect. He's had a bit of a rough game so far with the AWP. He was mainly doing his work with the rifles in the first half. But they do have the player advantage. For how long, though, is the question, because Davideus is sneaking around the back line. Wants to try and make sure he can line up a couple of kills here. But he can also see the bomb on the back of Dexter. So that is vital information and a vital positional shift back in favor of the Brazilians.
So there's plenty of time, though. Davideus, pretty good position. What a dangerous call to just try and throw that HE out in the open. It's a classic way to get yourself killed, but he's still alive here, only for a second. Snow trying to get in through the window. They're trying to make the big escape, and Kixan smartly holding the ladder here. Snow, I think, realized he sees it coming. Wants to go around the other side instead. Bomb isn't, I think, picked up by anyone, so it's a bit of an awkward moment regardless. If they had the bomb, it would be easier, but Kixan, nice swing, and slightly covered by the smoke there. And I think they actually made the jump out at the same time, so they probably would have been able to trade him. So discussion's been going on for a long time.
Yeah, it does feel like a very questionable decision if you ever see someone using a CZ on the CT side. You're like, what are you doing with yourself? Why?
I know.
Like, you're actually kind of trolling at this point.
Yeah, I wonder about that too. I can't find a single scenario where I would say that's a good idea. Bigazera, nice angle there. Gonna try and reposition. He's got a teammate coming in to try and help him out, but it's just with an MP9 at the moment. 19 seconds left, and Bimo, he's there. He gets the shot on the Kixan. How's it falling apart? Falcons, there's only 2 people defending down here. They're gonna be able to get the kill, but now Snow picks up another one. Bomb being planted behind. Magus get a 1 versus 1 versus Snow. And they've got to pick this one up. It's all on the back of the Dane. He swings wide and gets blown up by the young Brazilian. That is devastating. The logic for these teams is always going to be that whoever can afford it is almost always the one that gets it, just because you don't want to make it seem like, hey, you're worse than this guy, so we're just going to take away your AK. But I mean, logically, that probably is going to be true, right? 50 seconds, Magisk with a nice opening. Bigazera back here, a lot of pressure, very likely to go down. Actually, it's NQC that gets rid of him, but it's just a bit of a mishap. They will trade it out, and they've pretty much taken over the entire bomb site. So Falcons buying themselves a little bit more time. Now, you know, I love to go on a little rant, you know, like it's this, you know, sort of same thing we say all the time. It's like, oh, Falcons can win more rounds. Even if they lose, they can bring it back. They can build the morale. I don't know if I really believe that. I feel like I haven't seen almost any cases for as long as this team has been together.
Yeah, when it's timed right and it's 2 different sides, you just got all these bullets being sprayed down. Like, it is honestly like so terrifying to go up against, especially when it's like a hit and run. And speaking of which, Snow, with that 5-7, is putting it to use. He's taking so much damage, he has to back away, but he's able to survive, and that will keep their options open for paiN to set up crossfires. Not like this, Falcons. You're against pistols. You're against basically a trash arsenal. And not just that, but you've gone down to a 1v5, and it's all down to Nico again, and he can't get it done. Oh, that just epitomizes this entire tournament for the Falcons.
What an absolutely ridiculous display. Sure, it's not their map pick, but none of that really matters.
Maybe Shadow Daggers. What the fuck is this? Nah, man. Yes, sir. That's my style.
The fact of the matter is, as well as Nico played, Tessus dropped 5 kills on Nuke. 5. So, like, you got to have a couple players stepping up. That being said, here we go out into the open. It's going to be Snow with the Julies, who sprays down 2.
What a cracking start. The Julies actually on Davideus, this time finding another one. Nico trying to get it back in line here. It's him and Tessus left, and it is a 2 versus 3. Now, they do know where everybody is at the moment, and look at how blocked in they are. Here at T-Main, Davideus just, I don't know what's happening. He still wins the fight. Tessus, you've got to get that kill. He pretty much presented his back. He was crouched in, looking towards Pop Dog, and somehow...
And paiN still coming out as the victors, assuming that Nico can't pull off this 1 versus 3. Already 2 frags to his name. He is pretty healthy. That's one thing going in his favor. Time also will afford him the luxury of at least trying to pick off one by one these players. bigazera using E-Box, but he is going to get flanked from NQZ. And so paiN pick up from where they left off on Nuke, and that's with just yet another pistol round victory.
The T's really have to try and find a way pretty much every round to make sure that there are no CTs here, which is also why Nico goes down to check all the way at the bottom. There are a couple of little, you know, corners to stand in. Nice shot onto Davideus. That's just maybe a little bit sloppy. Don't want to be positioned to be exposed to that. Smoke that probably should have gone somewhere else. Wait, is that... Did they try to throw the gap smoke by Ivy and it lands there instead? I wonder if Tessus doesn't know that's been patched out. I'm pretty sure it's been patched out.
I think so.
Like I went to check fly around. I can't see how you could do. You can't do it. I'm actually not even. I say it like I'm not sure. I've tried to fly up there with no clip, so you can't do it. Here we go.
Gap smoke botched or a different smoke entirely, but the result is the same, and that is a fast entry onto Snow. They'd already picked up one early, as you mentioned, from Nico.
3 rifles are going to be saved here on the paiN side of things. Nobody's even nearby at the moment, so it's a pretty good job. And the truth is, there are going to be a lot of rounds where that B-bomb side early on is going to be fairly vulnerable. You typically only have one player at the start, and I guess if you wanted to say something there, when you only have one player and that player is playing as far back as they were this time on the paiN side of things, and bigazera trying to take some just shots, hoping that Nico's going to be covering that same angle. We're down to 40 seconds now. Davideus creeping up close with the MP9, and maybe could have had a headshot there. He's going to go down to Nico, exposed where he shouldn't be, around the E-box. It's NQC to try and bring it back, but they're in a little bit of pressure here towards the A-bomb side. Dexter will find another kill, and now they're being pressured back. Smoke is up towards the C connector. It's Dexter to go down, and it is a 3 versus 3. You could go for a retake here if you wanted to.
Snow's trying to find the edge of the smoke to try and exploit here and expunge some of these T's. I think it's the fact that Demo is so low on HP, though, down at 22. If you have utility, Molotov tossed in. Snow, though, gets a jump scare from Nico as he wide swings out. Tessus is going to pick up the pieces, and NQZ, if he wanted any chance to clutch, that's no longer a possibility. His mission is to save. And it will be rough because he had that first shot, and it was Nico that wide swung him over on Long Dog. If he connects that one, the entire dynamic of this round shifts. He may not be afforded the luxury of saving the AWP as Magisk from Con puts him down, and Falcons straight back into an even keel, 2-2. Yeah, it's also the quality of teams, because paiN, if they get knocked out 0-3 here with a stand-in, their first game was against Aurora, second game was against FaZe, and then you've lost to Falcons. Like, that's a respectable 0-3.
It is.
You know, like, as far as 0-3s go. Meanwhile, Falcons, complexity first, then GamerLegion, and then potentially paiN. They're not the same at all. But here we go, the aggression coming in from Tessus.
And Snow, again, really far back. It is an uncomfortable position to be in. bigazera not feeling too loose here either. Could easily get zoned out. He wants to reveal himself very late in that fight. He's going to be able to get the kill onto Tessus, but Nico's still out there, and they know that he's back here somewhere. Molotov doesn't really bounce how they were looking for, and a nice burst coming out. bigazera going to be taking down Dexter, trying to see if they can get out of the C connector, which is not easy if you don't have the grenades for it. Davideus still manages to get the job done. And just in the blink of an eye, it's down to a 1 versus 3, and never mind that either. It's NQC to take the kill onto Magisk. It will be paiN defusing the bomb here. Definitely impressive stuff. I think retaking that B bomb site is actually so much harder than it seems, and the reason why they're able to do it and make it look somewhat more reasonable is because bigazera gets to stay alive back there at the back of the bomb site. It is going to be a double AWP coming up from the paiN gaming side. I mean, sometimes that's a good idea. Sometimes it's also a sign that things are getting a bit desperate.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. We'll have to see which of those it ends up being. Demo up on E-box. It's been a position that paiN have struggled in quite a bit. Not just the Nico threading the eye of the needle through in the box, but also they had the MP9s in here. They struggled, and that's going to continue to be the case as Tessus and Magisk both spill out, and the Danes in tandem start to secure the outside control. But NQZ says no, and says it with authority on that AWP, knocking down players alongside bigazera. And now Dexter, he's getting close. There's only 8 seconds left on the clock, though. He needs to nail this shot, and he gets it just done in the nick of time. There's going to be enough time for the plant as well. Tessus doesn't get bested by the grenade, and suddenly, Snow in a 1v2, and Dexter puts him down. It was so close, but the Falcons somehow hold on. And you've got to disrupt that man on your screen right now, Nico, because he had a blinder of a nuke. He was the one shining beacon, hope, lifeline that Falcons had, and he has started train phenomenally strong as well. 12-4, coming into this round with 154 ADR. The man is on fire. You've got to deal with him. And again, look, it's going to be that E-box position. And again, it goes the way of Falcons without too much problems.
Yeah, you could see there's no place where they can stand. They don't have any grenades down. There's no incendiaries to slow anyone down. It's just a raw fight. And Dexter gonna be able to find Demo behind the Molotov. NQC and Snow left here. Very uncomfortable. And this time it was a change of pace as well coming out from Falcons. Much more quick, catching paiN in an uncomfortable position here. Nico maybe thought he had the kill. Snow somehow able to catch him in the reverse. And he's going to get one more spray with the smoke. Takes down Tessus. Okay, then. Back into a 2 versus 2 we go. NQC. His next fight is going to be all critical for him. If he misses the shot, it's not going to work out well for them. But he won't. Takes a little bit of time there. Sets up the shot on the Dexter. And now it's down to Mega Skinner. 1 versus 2. He's got the time for it. And he might have a chance to get the bomb plant as well.
This is really going to be yet another clutch that paiN had no right to be in. Snow just spamming through smoke, hitting headshots. Oh, no, the bomb has at least been planted down. It allows Mages to just change his angle of defense. But he has no idea. This is what makes Train such a terrifying map in clutches. There's so many angles, so many positions that you have to be wary of. But it's a beautiful double tap to kick things off. And now Snow out into the open. But once again, he stands his ground and delivers a 3K in the round. The hero of this round for paiN.
You know, the Magus that was in prime Astralis, just because of how far ahead that team was, you know, he's going to win fights like those every single time. But the truth is, mechanically, there are so many players in the world right now who will take those fights, Snow being one of them, and like, you know, everyone's just got so much better. By the way, here comes the aggressive Ivy push that we were talking about earlier, and it is just Tessus who's down here, so we'll see if they can find a way to make this work for themselves. NQC, a little bit of distraction with the AWP. Tessus, he's going to get double teamed. I wouldn't say that was clean, but they do get the kill on Tessus. Wait,
yeah, not quite
how's
clean
Nico
in
here?
terms of... Oh, dear. Oh, this wraparound is huge. He's managed to find that weakness. Because they double stacked on Ivy, they had less players watching outside. He can see the angle. He knows the op is here. I thought he might wait and see if a second player comes in. But he's probably cognizant of being flanked from Connector himself, so he wanted to secure that kill. The problem is, though, that the rest of his players are being sent to the Nether Realm. But Dexter, he holds his ground this time and he puts out Snow. There's a real chance now for Falcons to secure this round. A bit of a strange one, though. Rotations on top of rotations, but paiN looked like they are going to concede. They picked up the first kill, but Nico's wraparound into Connector was the deal breaker.
Yeah, you just don't. Look at the push up of Long Dog here. It's what I was talking about earlier. Such a critical part of the map now. It's going to be an Ivy with Dexter getting the kill on the demo, so we might have actually found one of the few rounds where this kind of push is not going to be the most critical one because they're losing control of Ivy, and ultimately this is going to go into, you know, it could at least go into CT spawn and even the B-bomb site. So normally this is a really, really sick play from paiN. Might still be with a chance there. Snow should have had that kill. Nico drops low as well, but they've won their fight, so bit of a shame because the sort of theoretical foundation of this kind of push for paiN is really sick. It shows that they have studied, they understand a little bit of what's going on. It just wasn't the right round for it. Wow.
Oh, how's Nico got that kill, bro? He's on low HP, 12 HP. It just spins down. 16 kills already in this half, by the way. Like, man, someone save this guy. So keeping their options open, but the bomb carrier of Kixan still... He's maneuvering his way over onto the bathroom, so plenty of time left. Thing is, though, are paiN going to get aggressive with these weapons? Because it feels like sitting back and just waiting is not the play. But Tessus splatters NQZ, who tries to get out and find that timing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him for doing something like that. You know, they don't have a lot to work with. It probably would require some trickery to try and get into a round like this one. But Falcons, I think they understand the economy pretty well. I think we heard it at the end of the clip there. I think Magus was even saying they force sport in that last round, so they know that they're not going to have a lot of money in this round. So it's no surprise that Falcons are playing it slowly, covering all their bases, making sure that there's no surprises. Davide is going to be going down. It's a very nice opening. Snow, I don't know how he actually gets the spray. That's a really long range for an MP9. Well done. Unfortunately, it just won't change the round here. Biguzira far away from the action. Bomb is going to be planted here, and you know, barring a 3-man disconnect, this should be an 8-4 finish in favor of Falcons, which I think is pretty good for Train right now. I don't think it'll be too sad about the situation.
Well, Biguzira is still going to have a good crack at this one. Obviously, last round of the half with the 5-7, he's found a way through. He could get the drop, but I think Magisk is going to spot him in just a few moments. And if not, it's TeSeS round the back that puts him down. So the 8-4 half does come to fruition.
Here we go, though. Second half is coming up. Falcons fighting to stay alive in Bucharest. They must win this and get a third map and just keep on going, because this is an 0-2 bracket. Falcons have won hardly any rounds in Bucharest so far. They're going to have to change the outcome right now. They're going to be on the CT side. paiN trying to see if they can crack through onto the B bomb side. Make they're jumping on his head, and he's hit no bullets! How could that be?
It's like watching Mario, but if he was just drunk off his face. Like, what? He's getting stomped left and right. NQZ, in the meanwhile, though, is going to try and put this round to bed. And it's not done just yet, because they still have TeSeS and Kixan alive, and 2 of these 3 remaining players on paiN are low. But they're playing up close where the Glock is going to shine its brightest, and Snow dulls the senses, flips the kill switch on Kixan, and goes in for more. He has been a beast so far on Train, the only standout player for paiN Gaming, but they've secured the second pistol. The way Magisk plays this bomb site reminds me a lot of how Taz used to play back in VP days. Up close, personal, wanting to get aggressive with SMGs and rifles, and it does work really well as long as you find the timings. Grenades can completely destroy them.
Yeah, they definitely can. We'll see if it's going to be good enough here. Nice opening. Magisk, such a sick spray as Snow was falling down, but the jumping Mac 10 coming back into it. Magisk going to be going down 3 versus 4, and they don't have the money to go for it. It's just not worth it. You could already see the call has been made. So paiN, it's pretty straightforward. Just trading their way into the bomb site. You can pair that with pushes out of B, and you can sort of sandwich in the T side when they're trying to get there. That's really efficient, pretty fun to see.
We lost Biguzira, but Davideus had a chance. Kixan, though, with a double. Sprays into Davideus and Demo. And the blink of an eye, this round is basically done. Snow has been a phenom on Train. So many multi-kills. He's actually been involved in multiple clutches as well, with 2 kills here, 3 kills there. But this feels like it's way too much for the young gun to contest with. They will have a buy into the next round, but it's looking good for Falcons. They can pick up a bunch of those straggling AK-47s off the deck as well once they're secure and sure of their victory. That's just what they were looking for as a retaliation, as a retort, though, after losing 4 rounds on the bounce. A clinical defensive round to try and tee things off, but please, Falcons, don't start losing players now. Kixan's gone down, the Molotov or bullets, and he decides its bullets are best to put him out of his misery. And there's still 55 seconds, to be fair to Snow. He's also healthy. Not for long.
Yeah, I share your concern, though, because... And NQC looking to try and see if we do something similar here. Not going to be able to spot them because they're behind the diagonal train up there. Minute on the clock, and now they're moving up, and quite a bit of noise being made too. But Snow, look at how much precision he's got out in the yard. He gets the first and very nearly the second. Kixan surely going to be dead here. I can't believe it's TeSeS at range to get another one, and actually doing a fine job out in this yard. Picks up another shot on Davideus, and it's NQC and Biguzira with 40 seconds. They do have the bomb still, but a hard round to claw your way back into.
No doubt, but they do have 2 players that are more than capable. As the Falcons found out firsthand back on Nuke. Do not take your eye off this round. Do not take anything for granted. You're entitled to nothing here, Falcons. And NQZ, slowly but surely making moves out. The problem is that time now becoming a problem. And although they did connect a shot onto TeSeS, dropping into 15, the strength in numbers and the group mentality of Falcons gets them to 11. I love that he has his teammates in his thoughts, though, because when he had that little rage-like shout moment, he did put his microphone up. Yeah. So at least his teammates weren't hearing the full brunt of it. You know, I respect that, Nico, a man of the people.
We need to make a product that's like a sound insulation bag that he can just scream into. It just drowns out. Now TeSeS with a forward position. Another Ivy push coming out here, and if nothing else, it's distracted them so much. It's so much time off the clock where paiN just feel incredibly uncomfortable, and Tessus does manage to escape. Even steals the AWP back, so pretty good stuff here. He's going to be making us down alone at the B bomb site. If he dies here, it is pretty awkward because, again, you get into the weird position where retaking is not easy. And he had the grenade shuffling out. He wanted to throw out the incendiary, so really nicely done. The only thing is the bomb is miles away. It's all the way around T-spawn.
Yeah, and they don't have that much time left either. It's going to take a good 15-20 seconds if they want to try and slowly move their way onto the site and not leave one of these angles unchecked. Snow, though, plays a pivotal role in this round, it has to feel, because he's on the flank, he's on the lurk, and now allows them to know his presence. This is going to play hell with the Falcons, but it's a good kill from Kixan, switching across to the AWP as well, but he's lost his life. And with 15 seconds, there should be more than enough time for the post-plant to come to fruition. And Nico in no position to stop the plant itself, but he is in a spot now to maybe take the clutch. 22 kills already to his name and funneling away the T's from one another with the smoke, but the peeking from MQZ has blown his kneecaps out, down to 55. Knows where one of the two players are, but it's about Davideus as well, who's just going to bide his time, wait for Nico to push onto the site and try and pick him off. But he's not sure as to where this second player is. Nico is going to fully commit to killing NQZ, has connected the shot, has the kit as well, and enough time. The bomb's planted in an awkward spot from Davideus, and that cost him his life. Nico with a vintage clutch and gets Falcons their first map.
Makes me think they're going to go for the B-bomb side at the end of it, but they will check out the A apartments because they want to make sure that Falcons aren't set up too aggressively up here so that it's way to telegraph what's going on. They could still be up here and execute, but just with a double smoke and the Molotov, it seems like it's going to be something else. Snow and Davideus to kick us off with a couple of opening kills. Oh, mid-air as Nico clips Big Ozira and sends him to an early grave. 3 versus 3, and now they are going to change their minds. They didn't want to run into Nico, and who could blame them? Back to the A-bomb site they go instead. It's just Tessus here by the pit and a jump in him. It's so mobile here for Snow, and Tessus unable to hit a similar shot. He needed Nico's aim to get that kill. Bomb's going to be planted. Smoke's going to be going up here, in a great position for paiN to be in.
Especially that smoke going down like you highlighted, because it basically blocked both Kixan and Nico, who are moving around together as united force. It's going to force them to now go into the short side, which plays way more into this pit crossfire that NQZ's built up alongside Snow. It's so difficult to get yourself across to the site when you know that you're basically funneled in. And the way that this structure works is effectively it's one by one into the Dragon's lair. And Snow devours them with haste. Again, paiN getting success in pistols.
If you've got an M4 on the CT side, even if you get smoked, you can try and run through, or you can just spray through the smoke to help out your teammate, but with an AWP, it's not the same thing. So now he's back in the bomb site, and I much prefer that. But it will be down to these two events. 30 seconds, they have to hold the line.
Yeah, a few smoke tossed out for Kixan. He's anticipating a Molotov toss to the back of the new box, so he's being proactive. Dexter, though, nails the shot. This is the luxury that's afforded to him by not taking the first point of call. The downside is the Molotov now is going to finish him off on low HP, and now the dominoes begin to fall. The house of cards comes crumbling down, but Tessus, he's erecting a much solider foundation to build off, and Demo, although the plant has come down, he's in a 1-on-3. And it stands to reason he's probably not at the back of the site right now because they spotted 2 players there. So he's going to be using the coffins, hoping he's not put into one momentarily, but he's down to 27. He's been Molotoved off as well, and they heard the tick of damage. They're going for the full defuse, and there's not a damn thing that Demo can do about it.
Yeah, that's a bit of a shame. I mean, some nice, style points for him. 7 bullets in the AK. He just shot them and picked up another AK and tried to sort of see if he could do anything with it.
If Tessus doesn't pop off with that double kill, you know that you were on the brink of going 0-4 down, your economy being broken once again.
True.
You can't feel super confident right now. Like, I think paiN, yes, you lose it. It's going to be a grimacing blow, but I think Big Azera's also got a bit of a smile on his face, like realizing we nearly had them. There's weaknesses here that we can exploit.
Nico just getting into position as they're walking near that smoke, but what a shot from Snow. He's not been afraid of challenging Nico in really any of his rounds. It's working out for him. He's going to take down Kixan and blows it wide open. One single defender left with an AWP. How can you really survive this? Never mind the Dexter's already tagged up. It's going to be Tessus dying. They're just dropping like flies across the map. They don't have anywhere near the economy or the momentum to suffer this kind of a loss. Dexter battling his way back and actually making a pretty good case for himself. They're now rotating back to the A-bomb side and right into the hands of Magus, who gets a double spray down. Oh my god, and a headshot drops Demo, and somehow they've saved Falcons. That should have been a round they should win every single time, paiN. And I think you could see Big Ozira there at the end, really rallying the troops. He is not happy about that loss.
Really just struggling in those opening 3 rounds. You had opportunities to put them down early on in this half. And that's why Big Ozira was so passionate, so animated, so pissed off, because he knows that it's a massive opportunity that they just let slip through their fingers. It's still early days. They can still punish, as they have just done now in the hands of Demo, already picking up more frags here on Inferno than he did on Train. So a great turn of fortunes. So paiN's still a threat to contend with.
If peeks it right now, Snow, he's going to be in some trouble. But on this side of the map, it's just Kicksand. That's not a lot of defense to try and hold back. Oh my... Well, they're cheating. It's all right. It's all good.
That's what Kicksand's probably saying to himself.
Exactly.
With a few expletives maybe thrown in as well. And Nico, oh, you can see what he was trying to do. Find that window of opportunity to jump straight through, and the way he's been playing, you can't blame him for it. But that's sometimes the other side of the story of like, screw it, I'll have to do it myself. Sometimes you do overextend. You do try to push your own abilities a bit too far, and that's one of those situations. That's a vital weapon that goes with him. Yes, they've got enough funds to buy again, but you know, if we always talk about like the CT economy being a very fickle mistress, and Falcons don't want to fall into that trap again. And to be fair, Nico, if Davideus wasn't peeking back around to the CT spawn, he could have won that 1v1 trade, and things could then get quite difficult, quite different. Grenade damage is good, though, alongside the Molotovs to kick off the round. They go for the wide swing, and then QC gets Nico and buries him on Banana.
Huge opening. That's what you need. But Dexter will bring it back. It's Demo this time. Going down a bit early here, and Davideus is also very low on health, so it's kind of an awkward round. They still have Big Ozira and Snow, more importantly. I feel like Snow's been getting so many amazing entry kills across Inferno already, so if he can give them another one right now, there's a lot to fight for still. Only 2 people at the A-bomb side as they're shuffling around. I think they're going to try and, yeah, they're going to put Dexter with the orb over there, and then they're going to pull Kicksand back. But if you hit while they're rotating, it could work out. There's another entry for Snow. He is so good right now. Magus dropping low on bullets. It's a team kill as well. And Kicksand showing up for that rotation just on time, running out of bullets. But there's going to be a second player coming in. Kicksand with a wide swing, and they will get the job done. I'm going to be honest, it is so close to that defense falling. If Kicksand is there a couple of seconds later...
Apps player on the planet on CT side. He is a phenom in this position, as we saw there briefly. Some really impactful frags. And so that may very well continue on the CT side. And that's maybe one of the other reasons why paiN are focusing most of their attention on Banana. Flashes are good, and this time the opening pick does go the way of Falcons.
Davideus blown up while blind. They're going to make a pretty quick decision here, paiN. I love it. Again, NQC trying to get the opening, and he will. Tesses ends up getting dropped. He's only got 4 kills so far. It's not quite enough, but that probably couldn't have been a kill for NQC. If it was anyone but Nico, I'm going to suspect that would have been happening. Magus, like you said, far from his prime, and gets traded out pretty quickly. It's not a quick kill. It's, you know, a long spray down, so long that more people start joining the fight, and eventually they're going to overcome him. 2 versus 2. It's another high-pressure situation for Falcons. Another scenario, likely, where Nico is going to get called upon to try and save the day.
The tantalizing prospect is we both have both teams with the best performing players still alive, though, in this 2v2. But it's Big Ozira that cracks it open to kick things off, and Snow finishes off a weakened Nico. But that's all Big Ozira in that 2v2. He did all the heavy lifting.
I mean, you're right. This is really back and forth. This is what we want to see out of a match, especially when elimination is on the line. And again, it's another micro moment here where Snow just has no respect for Nico, and I say that in a really positive sense. If you look at the scoreboard and you see that Nico's on the other side, for most Counter-Strike players in the world, that's a moment where you just feel like, I'm already nervous, like my hand is already shaking. You have to play that like that's not the case, and it can be very, very hard to do. I feel like I've counted like at least 5 or 6 times where Snow is just, he knows Nico's there and he just goes for it anyway, and I love it. Dexter, that's not bad at all. Slips right off that balcony. There's no railing anymore, so you can just fall right down into the pit, and Tesses with the 5-7, so a round that shouldn't have gone this way for paiN. They had the better weapons, and... Hello. All right, there we go. So NQC is going to try and flash and smoke them in towards the, well, maybe the middle of the map. That could be the case too. Or the apartments. It was going to be, well, never mind, he's dead. So it's all packed. Now we go. Snow gets the entry anyway. It's a lot of chaos on the paiN side. And Tess is actually with some remarkable spray going to be taking down Demo and Davideus. Leaves just Bigusira and Snow still in a very tough position here. They wanted to get through the middle. But that is another great kill. Snow is 13 and 6 right now. And he's had Nico's number in almost every engagement.
And Gazera of just the Tech 9, they're going to have to get this kill clean. Smoke out onto CT side now alerts the presence for Falcons, and they can start to make a move around from that A site where 2 of their players are currently sitting. Kicksan, if he can get a kill before he dies, that's huge.
Yeah, and he played so far back. He's really smart. He's as close to he can be, really, as not engaging in the fight at all, which is what he should be doing. To stay far away, don't let him turn it into a 2 versus 2. And because of that, he's pretty much good around here. It's Bigusira in the back with an AWP. He's got the first one. Grenade on top, and he does go down to Tessis. So Falcons going to be entering the second half with a 7-5 lead. It's not a commanding lead. It's not one that you could never throw away. The B-bomb side that's going to be under attack, it's going to be a lot of Molotovs, a lot of smokes. The Molotovs won't actually hit Snow, but it doesn't matter. It means they can focus all of their attention on Snow. They don't have to check any of the corners here, and that's good enough on its own. So here we go. No delay. They're going to be cracking right into it.
Molotovs do stop their trajectory, though, to hard clearing this coffin's position. So maybe Snow can rattle a couple of domes, but Tesses is too fast on the trigger, and that's why I highlighted how sad and disappointing it's been that he's dropped off so much, because the guy is a crazy talent when he's feeling it. He's had some massive frags, the double spray down from the arch side, but now it's down to the rest of paiN. 4v5 to go for the retake. They don't have a kit, but they do have a ton of grenades and Bigusira.
This will be a very unlikely retake. One flash already in the air, and now they're good to go. They have to power on through, but they're lost in the smoke at the same time. Dexter, stunning headshots coming out. He does run out of bullets eventually, but his teammates are there to take on over, and a very nice afterplant being played here. Falcons, they love it. They already had the lead, and now they're going to win the pistol on the second half. It can be very, very hard to break through, even if you have the better weapons and everything else. It's just an uncomfortable position to be in. But Falcons, they're making choices, and that's what you need to do sometimes. Jump around the corner, right into a couple of SMGs, and the choices are not really working out for the minute here. The MP9s are actually coming out on top, and now they're going to wrap around short instead. Right for the smoke, like I said, all you need is one more, and Dexter goes down. I can't believe it, but the MP9s are crushing Falcons. Oh, man, elimination might be back on the menu, Vince.
I think it is, with a side order of just desperation.
Making those kind of choices, it really makes a big difference. It could easily change the round if he's a little bit too aggressive, too confident, like, I've got it, the MP9, I'm sick. He's having a fantastic game, right? He's 15 and 8, so it is the kind of game where you could see a younger player make mistakes, but he isn't doing that, and you should really be praising that. Oh my god! A nuclear bomb on Falcons, and ace for Bigusira. Call him Bigusilla because he just crushed the villagers in Falcons' little city there. That's remarkable. What is going on, Vince?
Oh. Oh, that was so sick. Just the scoreboard just lights up. HG. Oh, they're on top of Molotovs. Stuck in. A bit of a counter-argument maybe to some people saying that, look, it's going to be super T-sided now up on Banana. You can't land the incendiaries, you can't land the HGs, or Bigusira's like, screw that noise. However, Falcons, they've managed to sneak their way up onto the archers. The timing here is going to work in Tess's favor. Does wing and clip the wings of NQZ. Drops him to 73, but he can withstand this and just back away. The downside is, though, the arch control is firmly in favor of the Falcons. 25 seconds left. They've got to push the site here, and they do have the opening picks. Demo and Davideus both down. NQZ, though, holds the line for 2, but it will be 2, and then he is done.
When you give up arch and short like that, the pincer maneuver that you get on that A-bomb side is so incredibly hard to hold back. Even if you have 3 people there, you could tell a lot of CTs near the A-bomb side. You think, oh, that's probably going to be okay, but it's such a hard fight. And also the issue is that you're so vulnerable to flashes coming over the actual wall itself. Just nothing comfortable about it. Falcons.
Post that timeout that they called is to get a good start into the round. Just settle themselves down a tad. The issue is, though, that we've seen they've been caught a couple of times in rotation. It's always easier not to fall into that trap when you have the player advantage and the grenades that come alongside that. 35 seconds, and TeSeS lining up the Molotov, tossing that in. That's towards the box. Not going to affect either of the players directly, but the flashbangs are good. Double spray down comes in. Snow gets one, can readjust, relocate. It is a team kill, but BiggerZera, he has to shut down the players where he can. They're fine with this, and Snow's hyped again.
Frustration is growing on the Falcon side, and they can feel it coming. 1 round difference here. Nicely done from Kicksando. Runs the entire stretch and just explodes BiggerZera. That they have a lot more presence over at this A-bomb side. With 3 people already here, maybe this gamble is going to be working out. Falcons are walking into the more heavily guarded part of the map. Demo's down. He's got an incendiary. Oh, but he gets caught right with a grenade in hand. And Davideus trying to stay alive. It's not going to be for long, though. And Snow gets traded out as well. The timing on pulling out that incendiary, unfortunately for Demo, it's a classic Counter-Strike moment, and it will cost them the round. I'm not saying save Martinez, just to say that Martinez is such a fun player to watch, and he's actually so sick, and it feels like he could go like to bigger places in some sense, just to say. But yeah, maybe that is something that's going to be happening in the future. We're not short on roster changes these days, so just a matter of a couple of weeks or months maybe, and maybe something will happen. It's 11-9 at any rate, and a double setup here in the apartments for the CT side. Davideus is going to get the one, but TeSeS, they must have lined right up for him. NQC gets blown up, and now Demo is the only defense right now. And again, caught slightly with a grenade in his hand, and TeSeS is absolutely punishing him. Relentless aggression. That's going to be round number 12 here for Falcons. There's no way they can lose this round.
The end game on the side of paiN. 3 elimination points coming up. Their economy, if they can keep both of these rifles, and that's a big if because they're being hunted down by Nico and by TeSeS respectively, with plenty of cash to play with going through into the latter rounds. If they can hold these 2 rifles, maybe there is a way they can try and carve a path, but they've lost one of them. And Nico will not be satiated with that 1 frag. It's Kicksan that seals the deal. No survivors. No mercy.
It might be the beginning of something. And again, it's an aggressive move coming out here. They have so little to work with. 3-man setup with the MP9s and an absolutely crazy flashbang to set it up as they start the defense. It's TeSeS to get a headshot on Demo. They are dropping quite low, but at least it's still a 3 versus 3.
Still a 3v3, but just by the narrowest of margins. NQZ is hanging by a thread. The walking wounded, limping his way on 19. And he has the only SMG. 5.7s, though, we've seen what they're capable of. Snow, in particular, has had a bunch of highlight moments with that very gun. But there's still time, and all 3 of Falcons playing together as a united force, saying, listen, if you pick one of us off, that's fine, because we'll get the upper hand. But they are walking into a double stack that may catch them off guard. BiggerZera, though, can only get 1. And that might be the last moment for paiN to have anything to say about their standing at PGL Bucharest. It's down to Snow in a 1-on-2 with that 5.7. Good news is he's healthy. Bad news is the post plant's coming in.
Such a hard round to win. If anyone could right now on the paiN side, it would be Snow. Gonna find an AWP, probably not exactly the weapon that he wanted. And the fact that there's a smoke up as well, it's been refreshed, so he has to go through it. There's no choice. He can't wait it out for 20 seconds. Gonna throw down one of his own, a flash to follow it up, but this is nearly impossible. They're hiding inside of the site. That AWP is not the weapon of choice, but it might be better than 5.7. It will not make a difference this time. TeSeS to shut it down, and Falcons, they get to live another day. Instead, paiN eliminated from the tournament. What a struggle this game was.